Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Sweet Spot. This is your host, Ryan Embry. As you can tell, we are not in our Sweet Spot podcast studio. Instead, we are on site at the beautiful Pompano Beach Marriott Resort. I'm here with GM Leslie Weil. Leslie, thank you so much for hosting us here at your beautiful reimagined property. We're going to get to it today.
Thank you for having me. Excited to have you.
And this is kind of a combination, of a couple different series, and we're going to share why that is special. Your alma mater, which we're going to talk about in a moment, but we've got so much exciting stuff happening right here on property. But before we get into that, we always love to hear kind of the background of hospitality professionals. Sometimes you're jumping from place to place. Sometimes you're local, born into the industry. Tell us a little bit about your story.
So I was not born into the industry, but I knew very young that this is what I wanted to do. At 15 years old, I said, I want to study hospitality, and I've stuck to it for over 30 years now. I absolutely love what I do, and I'm from Peru. I was born and raised there. And then after high school, I studied for 1 year in Peru, and I moved to Miami to study hospitality in FIU. FIU is a wonders for school. It gave me a really great beginning in the industry, and I have not looked back ever since. I've worked everywhere from hostels to luxury hotels at all over Latin America and the United States. So really, I was lucky enough to start in housekeeping and in the kitchen, and then I just got to grow to being a GM, and I love it.
I love hearing that story. It's something that we're actually hearing more of now, are people going to school for hospitality. Before it was, I fell into the industry, fell in love with it, and now we're seeing that intentionality into hospitality. I think it's because of stories that you hear sometimes from mentors about seeing it, and obviously just the love of travel, right? I think that's comes to the...
I really think the love of travel and the love of meeting people always merge into what can I do with those traits? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hospitality. And I think as a career, hospitality is a career that offers a little bit of every career into one. Yes. Right? Hospitality is a world of subworlds. So really, it is true that still I feel like there's a lot of people that fall into it. Like you need a summer job and all of a sudden you loved it and decide that that's what you're going to do with your life. Yeah. But I think being able to study it and understanding all the components from a hospitality standpoint really gives you an advantage as you start your career.
And a lot of transferable skills as well. So where, you can be at a property in the Midwest and then move to a beautiful property here right on the beach, right behind us. And that's what we're going to talk about next, Leslie, is this complete, we visited at the perfect time, right? You would say the complete reimagining of your rooms, your suites, amenities, your pool, restaurant. Talk to us a little bit about this project and kind of the journey that got you here, right?
So I have not been here for as long as the renovation has been, but my team has, and it was definitely a very long but very well thought of project. It was fully reimagined. Sometimes you go into renovations, and I have done 20 openings and many renovations, but this one felt like an opening because we really closed out the tower, the pool, the restaurant while operating from one of the towers, which is not always easy on the team, and it's also not easy on the guest, of course. But it's truly amazing to walk in and feel such a fresh outlook in what this property was supposed to be. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's the same building. Everything was redone, every single room. The lobby is completely new. We have the new pool, which is incredible. And that was made of two different pools. So legitimately, I feel like we exploded the pool deck and then just made something new and really tried to stay true to our roots, meaning we are from Pompano Beach. We've been here for a long time, and we want to pay homage to that. So really, everything was carefully thought of to how to be a guest hub and a community hub and honor the city where we're in with the names of our meeting space, the restaurant, and everything else. Yeah. And we unveiled it last week. So it's been incredible to see, okay, now it's real.
Well, congratulations to you and your team. They've done a fantastic job. I had breakfast out on my balcony overlooking that beautiful pool. It was a great place to work for the morning, for sure, Leslie. You mentioned, that not a lot of people, I have family here, so I visited Pompano, but not a lot of people know about Pompano Beach. That downtown completely revamped, completely redone, beautiful. Paint a picture for those that have never considered visiting Pompano Beach, what you get out of this location.
So I think Pompano is booming. It was like the unknown gem in Broward County. Everything has grown so much, and then it kind of moved north. Pompano is quiet. It's beautiful. It has pristine beaches. You have a pier. You have the lighthouse. So we're in a privileged location because from some rooms you see the lighthouse, and from the others you see the pier. There is a lot to do. Great restaurants, not just ours. But there's a lot of things that are coming. We have a brand new residence building right next to us, but there's so many coming up. So if you're looking for a little bit more of quiet and real resort experience, it's almost like you really feel like you're on vacation without the hustle and bustle of other beaches in Florida.
Sure. And that's the best place to be, right? Is where you feel like you can get away from it, but you're not too far removed from it where you actually feel like you have to get in your car and drive, right? So but let's talk about those guests that maybe do want to stay a little bit more tranquil. Like I said, enjoy maybe their breakfast or their dinner right here on the beach. Some of the amenities and that reimagination there.
So, of course, I think the pool deck is the biggest portion of the renovation. I think the best part of the last week has been seeing the faces of the guests saying like, whoa, this really came out okay.
That's fun.
But really, we want the guests to have an amazing experience from the moment they walk in. So at the resort, obviously, you have the pool. With your resort fee, you will get chairs and umbrellas at the beach, which the umbrella is not something you typically get, but it does get very hot here. So we want to make sure the guests are able to enjoy
it's a great benefit.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And we call our beach and pool the Citrus Club, right? Citrus, because obviously Florida is big on citrus. Like I said, we want to pay homage to where we are. So our Citrus Club pool and beach have a different menu than the restaurant. And you can have bites there all day and amazing drinks and frozen drinks because obviously we want you to stay hydrated, refreshed, and happy. And you can go to the pool, then go back to the beach. There will always be attendants and servers taking care of you. We also have a tiki bar at the beach, which is very unique to this property. Most times you won't find that. So you really don't need to go far. And if you just want to have a drink while you wait to go on a business dinner, you can always go to the beach, which is beautiful. We want everybody to start the day amazingly. And we're putting a pot of coffee at 6 a.m. So if you want to go see the sunrise outside, you'll have a cup of coffee and you can just watch it come up because it is really beautiful. I'm an early riser and I've enjoyed many of them, so I want the guests to enjoy that.
Love that.
And then for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we have the Kester. The Kester is our brand new restaurant. Mr. Kester used to be, a businessman that came in 1923 to Pompano for fishing, and he stayed for business. So we say it's one of the founders of the city, and we wanted to pay homage to his name. Our restaurant is new American cuisine, and we've kind of gone around the menu so many times to make sure it's something people love and enjoy, being very different from your breakfast experience to your dinner experience, and being completely different than what you can get at the pool. But it's all interchangeable, and we also do in-room dining from the restaurant.
That's incredible. I mean, from sunrise to sunset, you really truly have something for every single guest. I love that. Some really unique experiences. I'm sure that's going to pay off on things that we're going to talk about later with like social media and people taking those photos and sharing. Those are the type of experience that if you can curate those and create them for guests, it pays off in dividends because they're sharing that type of content.
100%. We're now finalizing our wellness program. We were currently doing daily yoga, but we're going to enhance it with some other fitness offerings or wellness. It might be sound healing. It doesn't necessarily need to be like a hard workout. Yeah. And we also have the water sports. So if you want a bit of a thrill, you can also go on your jet skis or kayaking and whatnot when the weather is not rough, of course.
Yeah, that South Florida hospitality. Yeah, programming such a big part of resorts now. And I think that's something that the guests really have come to expect over these last couple of years. When they check in, they say, okay, where's the programming? Where's the schedule, right, for my stay? So having the opportunity to offer that is a huge competitive advantage over, your typical hotel that might not offer that to guests. I want to go back to what you were talking about, FIU, Chaplain School of Hospitality. I'm very passionate about it. Last year, we had the opportunity in our Campus Crawl series to visit with Dr. Chang, the dean there. Wonderful campus. I'm a UCF Rosen grad, so We love, in hospitality, there's no rivalries, right? Everybody loves everyone. But talk to us a little bit about that experience of going to a hospitality school and how that prepared you for your career today.
So FIU was incredible, and it's even more incredible now. I was very determined, and when selecting where to go in the United States, I had some convincing to do with my parents. And Miami was easier because it's close to home. So I don't think I realized how much FIU was giving me until I graduated. And that's why I give back so much, and that's why I try to stay close to the school. I'm part of the alumni board as a volunteer. Every time they call me, I go and speak to the students, because the one thing that FIU has today is that it has a great alumni network. And when you're in the chaplain school, you're forever in the chaplain school. So I think the best that I got was firsthand, like, people talking to me about the industry. And that's not something that was as common way back when. I think the curriculum at FIU was very hands-on, and it truly allows you to learn in a different way. So because they also expect you to work to graduate, you have to work many, many hours to be able to get that diploma, to make sure you know what you're doing.
Right.
I really feel like it developed the passion, and it allowed me to start, not necessarily, I graduated and now I have to be the manager. Really allowed me to work my way up and understand every department. But with that level of knowledge, that having a career in hospitality and really learning in the school allowed me to grow faster because I got it. And I could relate to other departments. So I spent most of my career at the front office, but my accounting classes at the chaplain school really made a big difference to them moving me to accounting afterwards for a couple of years, because I got it in a different way. And since then, FIU has grown tremendously, keeps escalating through the charts, and I'm very, very proud to be an alumni there. And I see how they are involving us, the alumni, into the day-to-day of the students, so they can really see what a career means. Because there's this whole thing about, you work in hospitality, you have no life. And in reality, that's not true, right? It's the life we choose. And yes, it is a business that's open 24/7, 365 days a year. But there is so much you can do there that it's not always those crazy hours, but definitely it's the most fun you'll ever have.
Yeah, it's a very rewarding career, and I think, more stories like you, Leslie, of hospitality professionals coming back and speaking to students and setting those expectations, because you don't want those false narratives out there about the hospitality industry, and saying that this can be a career if you love travel, which most of this younger generation loves to do. This is the place to do it. Amazing perks sometimes
the best
come with your job, right?
100%.
That you take full advantage of. But yeah, I mean, everything that we saw at FIU and the Chaplain School of Hospitality, so many labs, hands-on, so many internships that they were sending students to. We just need to encourage that in this industry as much as we can. And so cool to see you in great connection with that. I was talking off camera about, advice that you would give right now. It can be a little scary right now for college graduates. They're coming in, you hear about AI, you hear about technology, maybe taking jobs. I mean, what advice would you give to a young hospitality professional right now, Leslie?
I think the biggest thing for me is staying curious. Don't think you have all the answers, but never be scared to speak up either. I find that I was successful in my career because I always wanted to learn more. And no matter where you start, just ask what the other person is doing. Just take advantage of everything, because you have in the back of your head, you already studied it. So you know it. And no matter which role you have, where you're a front desk agent, you're in housekeeping, you're in the restaurant, you're going to see many things, because in a hotel, everything blurs with everything in a really good way. So stay curious, ask how you can help, ask how you can learn, and that will propel the career forward, because you already know a lot of the information. And I find that those that succeed the most are the ones that hold a vast of different jobs, which is great, because hotel, you have a lot of side work, upward, diagonal mobility.
Right.
And if you stay curious and ask all those questions, and also speak up when you see things that can be done better, you'll always grow and succeed.
Yeah, be a hospitality sponge out there,
Totally.
right? And I think it's great advice, because I think you think back on we hate to do it, but back on 2020 and the lessons learned, there were a lot of GMs, front office managers doing tasks and jobs that they hadn't done either ever or in years. And I think there was a lot of learning that came out of that. And And that is just the perfect example and kind of parallel of just exposing yourself to every single department, because you, as you mentioned at the top of the episode, so many aspects to this. You wear so many hats as a GM. The more exposure and the more skills and traits you can do are just going to sharpen your professionalism moving forward, put you in a great position.
Yeah, and also earns the trust of the team, right? Because they know you've done it and you're willing to do it. And yes, I opened the hotel in 2021 and we were cleaning rooms. Every manager, from revenue accounting to myself, we were cleaning rooms every day. Some of them had never done it. Some of them were great at it without never done it. And then it also makes you think of the hard work that the housekeepers goes through every day, because I can certainly clean 10 rooms in 8 hours, but they're cleaning 17.
Right? Yeah. I mean, empathy is huge in our industry. Leslie, I, for one, would love to host, whether I'd love to attend a wedding here. I'd love to attend a meeting here. Talk us through, I saw some new courtyard space that you have for events. Talk us through what it's like, that process to have group travel here.
So we have an amazing sales team and I love them. Not the job I would do, but when I have to, I do it.
Yeah.
And the great thing about this hotel is that we host a lot of business meetings, but we also host a lot of weddings, sweet 16, quinceañeras. And they did in the past. It's just the spaces are now enhanced and reimagined. Sure. So we have indoor and outdoor spaces because, of course, South Florida. But the beauty of it is that we do have a courtyard that is right next to the pool, where you can have a small cocktail and a small event, but also you can have corporate games, right? We've done everything. You can get married in the beach and come into the ballroom for the party. And we have a great terrace in the middle of the two towers that we have that is space for whatever you want it to be. Whether it's a wellness event, we've had a food and wine festival in the terrace before as well. And then the sales team will walk you through everything. We have a sales team that helps with the group. We have a director of events that help with all the event planning and a catering manager as well. So really everybody comes together to ensure that the event goes perfect from the moment the guests walk in until they walk out, with so many different spaces. Actually, where we're sitting right now is a meeting room that overlooks the water.
Yeah, beautiful.
Which it's my favorite spot.
Another place for a potential alumni mixer, right?
Yes, totally. I already told Kansas.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about where we are right now in the season, wrapping up the summer. That we love those snowbirds coming down, enjoying our sunny Florida weather. What do you have prepared for those in the fall and winter time?
So excited to get into that. Summer is always, it's slow season. I say slow because it's not ever really slow. But we are getting excited to really our first season as a reimagined property. A lot of programming. We're working to have music series, DJs in the coffee shop. We're really trying to do everything to be a hub, not just for our guests, but also the community. And what I found over the last few years that I've got to work everywhere is that for the guest experience, the best you can do is mingle them with locals. Because that's how you really know what's going on. We want them to stay at the resort, but they want to know where the best place to go snorkel is, or if there's a surf lesson, and then the locals will give you the best ideas. So really, as we move along, end of summer and beginning of fall, it's easier to do a lot of things outside too. The rain is always giving you, oh my God, what do I do to change it? So we're working on a lot of activities for families as well, where at least an hour a day, the kids could be outside painting while the parents are having a cocktail by the pool bar or the beach, and really curating programming at least monthly, where we will have a DJ, liquor sponsor partnerships where you can have and try different cocktails while, refreshing yourself outside by the pool and also inside.
And that's what you were saying, Leslie, is you were like, I want to get the local community involved, because this does have a lot of history with maybe some locals and staying in this area, but it also is a completely reimagined place. And also paying homage to that local community. So incorporating that, such a smart idea. Social media, obviously a great place to put that programming out. Encourage all of our Sweet Spot listeners to obviously follow the property on site. How does that play into social media and online reputation? How does that play into when you do a reimagining like this?
It's huge. And honestly, especially when you're a brand and there's a lot of photography guidelines, we rely a lot on social media for what's happening now, right? It's very immediate. So social media to me right now is really how we show the world what we're doing real time, right? There's a person having a drink at the pool already because we just opened, right? And it's there. So the speed and really the aesthetic, right? What message are you trying to portray? For us, it was really important to start from scratch because the property doesn't look at all like the prior property, even though it's the same.
Yeah.
So I think social media is huge nowadays, as everybody knows, and being able to respond and show guests, we do care. This is what we're doing. You're not always going to get great feedback. So I always say it's how you react to it. But really right now, if you go to social media, you'll be able to see real time what's happening on property and what's able to happen on property, right? You can look back for a wedding and then you'll find the pictures. So as we build up, we have new social media for the hotel, but also for the restaurant. So we want to make sure we showcase both. And like you said, we want to be a part of the local community. And that is the easiest way to get to everybody around because they're not always going to be guests.
It's so disappointing when, you go to a social media profile for a hotel and it's the middle of summer and the last post is about, Happy New Year, right? And that real time aspect and the authenticity is lost. And that's a real opportunity for guests, both, far and locals, like we're talking about, to really get to know you and the property a little bit better and show your hospitality and caring.
For us, we also were delayed so many times as with every renovation that I really feel a lot of people were losing faith on the fact, are they really going to open? So for us, it was very important to showcase it in social media as soon as it was done. Like, hello, we're really here. I know it took a while, but see us,
and to
we're
tell
beautiful.
Your story as well. I think you get a lot of people invested in that, right? The local community have been, wow, this has been under renovation for, months on end. And now we get to experience this for the first time and people, loving it.
One of the big things here too is that, like I mentioned, like an inspector would come and say, hey, my daughter had her Sweet 16 here. Like a lot of people from the local community did things at this hotel. So for them to be able to see it come alive, and the most immediate thing to do it is social media.
So cool. So cool to see. Well, as we wrap up here, Leslie, as general manager, as you see those guests experiencing this reimagined, almost brand new hotel for the first time, what is your hope that they say and feel about their experience here as they leave the Fort Lauderdale Pompano Beach Resort?
I think the best thing I heard this weekend that makes me realize this is what I want is that it felt upscale yet approachable. I want you to feel like you're at home and that you can have a great time and be yourself, but really have memories that you're building while you're staying with us. I think that in hospitality, one of the most beautiful things is that we get to be a part of everybody's life, sometimes in their best moments and sometimes in their worst. But you want them to create a memory that they always can look back or come back to. And as we are reimagined, those that were here before, we want to wow them by feeling like they're family and that they had a great time. But also those that have never been here to have that same feeling and that same approachability to the space that the others have.
I love that. It's truly one of the best answers I've heard on that question, Leslie. So thank you so much for hosting us here at your beautiful property. Encourage all of our Sweet Spot listeners, come check it out. Come check out Pompano Beach, see what Leslie and her team have done here in this incredible property. Thank you so much for being on the Sweet Spot.
Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to having you back and all your listeners soon.
All right, awesome. We'll talk to you next time on the Sweet Spot.